Hello there, I am a Titan main on the video game named Destiny 2. Always have been, probably will always be. I'm a simple man, but as of late, this PvP loadout I've been using on my Hunter has seemingly changed that. To summarize, you have Radiant 90% of the time, it is not dependent on getting a kill to start things off. You can use any weapon you want with this, and if your team aren't doing so well and dying a lot, it feeds directly into your source of radiance. Fat disclaimer, I am not claiming to be the founder of this or anything like that, so shut your face hole, Jeremy from Reddit. And if I have said anything here that could be either expanded on or even corrected, and I'm just straight up wrong, let me know. You tell me. You got that? Okay, love your face. Now, is this build already popular and I'm making this video for no reason? Don't care. Didn't ask. Plus Adagio. But I do hope you have a lovely day. Aeon Swift. Arms, you know, this exotic. Pick the third option of the perks, like here, the Sect of Vigor. Gain ability energy when allies die. You also get reduced damage for a short time, which I believe is 10%. Maybe 5. Is it 5? No, I think it's 10. You know what? Maybe it doesn't work in PvP. Every time I look this up, or if I ask my chat when I'm live streaming on Twitch, half the people say it does work and half the people say it doesn't. So you know what? I don't know. I mean, either way, the entire point, it's about the ability energy, and that's the important part here. And that ability we're going to spam is, of course, Acrobat's Dodge. The backflip thing. I forget the name of it all the time, so I just call it the fancy backflip. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. If I say it to someone, the Hunter backflip thing, usually they understand. You should too. I'm talking to you, Jeremy and Jacob and Billy. Hey Lars. Now the special thing about this fancy backflip is it gives you Radiant, a flat 10% damage buff in PvP, and with these Aeon Swift arms, you'll be able to backflip every 20 to 30 seconds, sometimes even quicker than that. Definitely recommend having Ember of Solace on too, in order to increase the duration of Radiance, and Ember of Benevolence as well, giving you ability energy back when backflipping next to teammates and giving them Radiant, or if you're running Healing Grenade and throw that in their faces as well. Basically, if you buff a good guy, it gives you energy, so why not have that on? Apologies for the absolute mess that my stats are, but I would recommend having at least decent recovery and mobility for this. In a perfect world, I would have 90 mobility, resilience, and recovery, but I don't think that's possible. Question mark. Upside down question mark. Una mesa para cuatro, por favor? Now, as I just said a moment ago, you can use this exact setup with any weapon and simply enjoy the flat damage buff with whatever you want. You could be a bloody nuisance with the Osteo-Striga, you know, the gun that shoots high-ping bullets. You could do all sorts. But if you run a solo weapon, you could take advantage of the artifact mod Flint Striker, which of course has been very popular this season. This thing gives you Radiant when you hit enough crit hits or getting a kill with a solo weapon. So it's just another source of getting and refreshing Radiant and keeping that going for even longer. You see where this is going. Here is my favorite loadout with this build in mind. The main weapon I use here is the crafted Adhortative. This is an adaptive pulse rifle added this season, and it is a returning weapon, and quite frankly, I don't care. It's great, and it's been a bloody treat to use. On this, I use Hammerforge, Ricochet Rounds, Heel Clip, and Golden Tricorn. I think the Masterwork is either handling or range. I think range. I could be wrong though, my brain is flat. At first, I was using Enhanced Slick Draw, because I thought having 100 handling would be, you know, good and feel snappy, but there was just something off about it. That might be a reflection of me needing the aim assist, but who knows? Either way, in the end, I went with Heel Clip instead. And listen, if this had Kill Clip, I would use it, 100%. But Golden Tricorn is perfectly fine. It is a flat 15% damage buff after a kill, and considering your damage is already starting at 10% because of the fancy backflip, it is already easier to get that first kill. So after that initial kill, you have a 25% buff of your 3-burst friend. It's stupid and fantastic. And of course, Kill Clip is 25%, so you're basically getting Kill Clip without reloading. You just need the kill, you know? So you get Kill Clip's worth of damage for a kill, so it's like Rampage, but with Kill Clip percentage damage. Oh, I could have worded that so much better. You know what I mean? Hopefully, possibly, potentially. Now, of course, this method is purely based on shooting, you know, shooting bad guys and using weapons rather than ability spam, although you absolutely may be a horrendous human being and use the Strand Hunter clone stuff with this. You know what I mean? You get really fast regen, so you could just use the clone thing and just use infinite amounts of them. It's pretty horrendous. But like I said, this particular method, all I'm doing is using weapons here. And as you can see from the clips already, the Adhortative is majestic. Does a fantastic job of getting those two taps? No, 2 bursts, you know what I mean. And you know what? Usually I'm not a big fan of Heel Clip, but this actually works very well. And that paired with Healing Grenade, you know what? In the middle of a little streak, proved very useful. Usually I think it's not really good enough, but listen, it saved my ass in a lot of these clips. And if you've played Crucible recently, you understand how annoying it is to go against Strand and maybe more Strand, or Conditionals, or more Strand. Now, for the special weapon slot, really anything is fine. A sidearm is my usual choice. The Glock and balls from the raid has been my go-to with this particular pulse. And I know that's double primary, and I know that there's still a lot of you out there that still are yet to accept that double primaries are practical in PvP. And while they are practical in PvP, you would still probably win against me, because once that sweet conditional finality bullet hits my face, I will of course perish. With a capital P, with an umlaut on top of it. How do you say that? Umlaut? Umlaut.
Umlaut.
Okay, thanks, Google. On the topic of special weapons, though, a fun weapon to run with the Radiant buff is the Trials Trace Rifle, the Incisor. I guess any trace rifle works for that matter, really, but listen, this one is in the primary slot, and it is hilarious how fast it destroys people with. It's outrageous. You only get 50 laser ammo thingy with trace rifles in Crucible, and that is, you know what, the amount of times you'll get a double kill with it, it's very nice. It's really funny. And you know what? The same applies for the trace rifle from the raid. I forget its damn name. It's this thing. I'm putting it on the screen now. Acacia's Dejection? It might be this one. It's solar. You get the point. It's solar. So, of course, that directly benefits from if you get kills with it. And that thing in particular is weirdly... There's something about it. It's too good. Definitely worth the trying. And if you don't have any of those trace rifles, just use the exotic one. Oh, what's the damn name of it? Solar trace rifle. Prometheus lens. That's the one. Use that thing. It's solar and it's very easily obtainable. You know, everyone's got one. And if you don't, get it. Work on it, Bob. Oh yeah, another thing I tried. I used the Igneous Hammer, of course the solar hand cannon from Trials. And of course, my hand cannon shot is historically shite. But I still tried my best. The entire point here is, of course, you have Radiant. On top of the constant Radiant, if you have a golden tricon roll on this Wobbler, after a kill, it will allow you to get 2 taps. Sweet, sweet 2 taps. Now, my success was a little bit up and down with this thing, it's fair to say. But... bloody hell was it fun. I used this thing on stream quite a lot, and I was just backflipping for like 7 hours straight trying to get 2 taps with hand cannons. It was a journey, it was an experience. If you'd like to join me one time, follow me on, almost said Twitter, follow me on Twitch. I mean, I do have a Twitter too, so you can follow me there as well if you want. I am there quite a lot, I just have the social ability of a puddle. But listen, I'm working on it, I'll tweet more. Anyway, I'm losing my point. Igneous, very fun. Although if you want 2 taps with hand cannons, I would really suggest just using the combined action, the arc hand cannon. It is of course one of those ward drops, so it's kind of rare, but I think you can farm it with lost sectors. And if you get it with Adagio, that's the damn thing to go for. It makes the 2 taps happen after 1 kill, so it's the same thing as Igneous here. But listen, you understand it, you get the point. I mean, at this point, I'm just yelling at you to use solar weapons with this backflip build thing. I mean, yeah, that's my point. It's fun. Use this thing. Other noteworthy weapons to use with this thing. Abyss Defiant, the Coronac. Oh, this thing. You've seen it. I mean, like I've said, you don't need a solar weapon. Anything, it gives anything a buff, which ties in perfectly to most of the gameplay you're seeing right now. This is the Belisarius D. Belisarius, is that right? It's the pulse rifle you get from competitive, and it is Strand. And for some reason, this stood out the most for me. And with it being an aggressive burst, it didn't lose out on the 2 burst potential once I had Radiant procced. And one perk I found quite interesting using it with the Radiant buff is the perk Slice. The main role I use for this gameplay is Slice and Zen Moment, which is, by the way, impeccable combination. But Slice, as you can read here, casting your ability allows this weapon to sever targets on hit for a brief duration. So if I do a backflip and have Radiant, the moment I shoot an enemy, they hit less. So it's not like I'm hitting them any harder, I'm just making them hit less on me or anytime they shoot a teammate while they're debuffed. So it's quite an interesting interaction there. And from what I noticed, it seemed to keep me alive a little more often, but you know, I don't know how significant that is. That might just be me waffling. So that's what I mean about this. The versatility of it all, you know, just use whatever loadout you like using. Of course, it's a bonus if the weapon you like using is solar, but you can use anything with this. That's the fun part. Now, is this loadout going to be nerfed in about 2 months' time and this whole video is going to be pointless by then? Maybe. Honestly, maybe. But you know what? It's been a bloody pleasure explaining to you guys today this fun little hunter loadout, which I probably could have done in half the time, but you know, hello. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Please do leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. And you know what? If you've used this loadout before, let me know if I've done something wrong here, or there's any improvements, or if you've used this yourself and agree with me, or disagree with me. Let me know. I know Destiny's in quite the dry state at the moment. It's kind of natural. But you know what? It's fine. We'll get through it. In the meantime, you guys have to deal with me. feel free to join the Discord if you haven't already. We have a lovely small community there of kind people. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on the Twitter, all the stuff and things. This is definitely staying as a locked loadout on my hunter from now on. If I'm ever feeling bored in PvP, you're damn right I'm throwing this stuff on. Much love to your faces though, guys. Have yourselves a lovely day, and until next time, take care.